Hello, I'm Constitutional Attorney Catherine Henry, and this is the Constitution segment recap for Season 2, Episode 21 of Restore Freedom Weekly. In this week's episode, we talked about how to follow the money with Alan Myers. Now, this is just the Constitution segment recap video, so if you want to hear that full discussion and everything we talked about, please make sure to check the link for the full video. I can't even talk today, that we had on Tuesday. Now, this week is a little bit different. I don't have a slideshow to go with this because I wasn't really introducing new language or from statutes or, specific topics from the Constitution. It was more about hearing from Alan that presentation. And so what did we talk about? Well, when your cries for transparency fall on deaf ears, deliver a message the municipal governments cannot ignore. Follow the money to unearth political corruption. And we urged you to join our conversation that we were having with forensic CPA Alan Myers this week about reviewing the incoming and outgoing funds for local governments. Now, that would be your city and township boards, school boards, etc. So we talked about how to follow the government money without being a financial expert. We tried to start you off with a 3-minute video that went into some detail about what the Municipal Accounting Review is all about. But unfortunately, our technical difficulties prevented us from doing that. So if you look at the description of today's video, you'll see the link for that video. We also went through a little bit of Alan's basic education experience, background, etc., on what puts him in a position to be able to educate us on these municipal accounting reviews and why he's the go-to guy for a topic such as that. We then had to obviously talk about, well, what the heck is a municipal accounting review and how is it different than an audit? Now, I'm not going to go into all those specifics other than to give you the basic overview, which municipal accounting review is actually something, the accounting review side is actually something that you could do, whether you want to audit a nonprofit organization or a small corporation or a government entity. It's something that can apply universally. And it's different from an audit in that an audit generally is more of a sampling of the bigger picture or focusing in and pinpointing on one specific area and doing an intensive review on that. Whereas this, a municipal accounting review, is to take that overall snapshot of all of the details, every single transaction in and out, so you can really trace the funds and know dollar for dollar, penny for penny, how your tax dollars are being spent. And aside from your tax dollars, are there other sources of money coming in, other influences that need to be identified and possibly dealt with? That's a topic that Alan brought up that I never even thought of in terms of this. But as we saw discussions about Zuckerbucks and Russian and Chinese interference in elections and all kinds of different things that have been talked about and in the press in the last few years especially, those are topics that should at least be a concern in the back of everyone's mind. And this will give you a tool for how to uncover some of those issues if it's happening in your municipality. So from there, we talked about what are the steps to find out where the money is coming from and where is it going to. Now, in the description of today's video, you'll see the link that Alan talked about where it's We the People 2.us Municipal Accounting Review. And if you click on that link, it'll give you the step-by-step. I wanted to say there were 7 or 8 steps, but anyway, I think it was seven steps perhaps, to success of how you can file your FOIA requests, what information you're asking for, how to do follow-up, basically how to get that information. And then once you have that information, then the website also will help give you some information on what to do if you do find the discrepancies in incoming or outgoing funds. What can be done to hold our public servants accountable for that? Very first thing he talks about is to call a meeting. If it's a school board meeting, bring it up, get it on an agenda item, that kind of thing. And so the third link that we're sharing with you is the email address info@wethepeople2.us, where you'll be able to contact them and perhaps get a little bit more information on how we the people, how you can take some next steps if you do end up finding irregularities, and how to go from there. So a couple of, it'd be remiss not to talk about the Constitution though, right? In a Constitution segment recap. So a couple of things I wanted to point out. The word finance, that's nowhere in our US Constitution. The word audit or review are nowhere in our US Constitution. The word economy or economic, nowhere in our US Constitution. The word fund or funds, not in our US Constitution. Transaction, not in our US Constitution. But when you think of all the different kinds of key words that we talked about in this almost hour and a half episode with this forensic CPA, two key terms rise to the top of common sense terms that actually are in the Constitution, and that would be the word money, which is in our US Constitution 6 times, and the key word or phrase, the people, as in we the people. And the people appears 10 times, word for word, letter for letter. Of course, the whole concept of we the people and the public being in charge and everything like that is spread throughout the entire Constitution. But the actual words, the people, together as a phrase, appears 10 times in the Constitution. It appears more than the word money. Why? Because we, the people, have the ultimate control and authority over our government, and it's about time that we stand up and do something when those government officials at local government agencies, at federal government agencies, at the judicial, legislative, or executive branches, anywhere, any one of them, when they go rogue, when they step away from their oath of office and their job to protect and support and defend the U.S. and state constitutions, that we hold them accountable personally and move forward on restoring our great nation and our constitutional republic that's main purpose is to secure our God-given liberties. So it's we the people. It's not you. It's we. It's all of us. We each have to do our part. And Alan, our guest for this week, did a great job of pointing that out in the episode as well. So make sure to check out the links that we discussed. And of course, our Wednesday Way to Get Involved challenge from yesterday. Our freedom fighting tools will be a little familiar to you tomorrow. And also stop back on Saturday to see what way you can help this week to support Restore Freedom and the Restore Freedom weekly set of resources and things that we bring to you every week. So make sure to check all those out and to join us again next Tuesday at noon Eastern Standard Time for our next full episode of Restore Freedom Weekly. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great day.
Make sure to like, follow, subscribe, and share Restore Freedom.